January is nearly dead. The groundhog will soon show his head. And then we'll hopefully get a nice early spring. Unless that bastard goes back into his hole. He better not. I'll come looking for you, groundhog. I'll come looking for you. Anyway, how you guys doing? I got a Sam Adams cold snap over here. I'm just hoping soon it turns into a spring snap. Or a cherry blossom flavor. I don't know. Whatever's like springy enough for a Sam Adams beer, seasonal beer. Anyway, 2026 is now fully upon us, guys. I feel like I'm fully in the 2026 zone now. I feel like I've reflected enough on the last year. It's gone. It's over. Forget it. It's gone. Who cares? Bye 2025. Forgot about you already because 2026 looks better. Much better. So much better, in fact, that I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. What is my most anticipated game of 2026? Well, I'll tell you, but it's going to shock you. It's going to shock everybody. Nobody's going to believe what my 2026 most anticipated game is. No, it's not Resident Evil 9. I know. Crazy, right? Crazy. It's easily going to be one of the best games this year, I hope. I mean, it definitely looks like it, but it's not that. As big a fan as I am of that franchise, in fact, there are 3 major Capcom games coming out this year. One is a new IP, one is the sequel to a franchise that's been gone forever, and they all look great. So, like, I'm excited for all of them, but, like, that's not my number one. There's a new Suda 51 game coming out on February 11th before any of this shit. Even that's not my number one, and that's also looking pretty good. Fatal Frame 2 remake in March, not my number one. Looks great, but it's not my number one. Yakuza Kiwami 3 remake of Yakuza 3. Still not my number one. I never got to finish Yakuza 3 originally, so I look forward to playing that, but it's not that. You might be thinking by this point, Passion, is it Duskbloods? Is it From Software's new weird experimental multiplayer Bloodborne thing? No. I mean, if that turns out to be as good as I hope, even though it is multiplayer only, and that's not usually my style, I'm still excited for it. I'm still interested in hearing about it. I don't know if it's going to be the game that makes me buy a Switch 2 right away, but you never know. You never know. I will get one eventually. I just don't know if it's going to be for Duskbloods or the new Mario or whatever. Anyway, what is it? What is my number one game? I mentioned everything, right? What could there possibly be? Well, it's Tokyo Extreme Racer. The revival of my favorite arcade racing game of all time that actually had a whole franchise that very few people know about from Genki. And it's awesome. I played only one of them back on PS2 back in 2001. It was called Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero, and I fucking loved it. I know, you're thinking, typical fucking weeb, of course. It's got Tokyo in the title. Of course he loved this game. But keep in mind, I'm not usually a racing guy. I don't usually, get super excited for new racing games. It's not that I don't like them, because I do. As a matter of fact, when it comes to arcade-style racing games or street racing games, I've enjoyed a ton of them. Like, I used to like a lot of the Need for Speed games. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, awesome game. Ridge Racer Type 4, I've made a whole live stream on here a while back, where I talked about not only that game and how great it was, but like the golden age of arcade racers and how I want them to come back. Loved it. Midnight Club was great, loved those. Burnout was fun for a while. I even liked some of the Forza games back on the original Xbox. I remember playing some of those. I was never super into Gran Turismo, even though I have a ton of respect for it, because that is the most realistic racing sim of all time. Like, that's the one for the big car enthusiasts, people that are like major gearheads. I'm not. I don't know shit about cars. I don't even drive them in real life. But in games, as long as it's a more arcadey style thing, you know, like most of the games I've mentioned, which are much more accessible to people like me who don't know shit about cars, but I do know that they're fast and fun and cool, and when they're not like hard to handle with a controller, I really do enjoy them. Um, so like Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero was very unique. It was different from any of these, and that's why it was my favorite. Simply because even though Ridge Racer would be pretty high up there too, for a lot of reasons, very stylish, very cool, but Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero is just unlike anything I've played before. First of all, it's an extremely stripped down experience. Unlike so many other racing games where you have a lot of scenery and day night and weather and all this shit, Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero is entirely set on a midnight, like, Tokyo highway system. It's just you're driving through tunnels and traffic and overpasses, and it's just nighttime Tokyo with lots of lights and thumping electronic soundtrack, and it's just very like it's just a vibe. Like it's a very like almost dreamlike nighttime cool street racer vibe, and the atmosphere is actually really fucking cool because it's so singular. Like there's nothing else to it. And then you get to the the racing system itself, the mechanics, which are unlike any other racing game in existence. It's basically a fighting game with cars. Like, what you do is you go out on these highways, and each session is just you looking for other street racers, other people to race. You pull up behind them, you flash your headlights, and you initiate a race. And it's just one other car, kind of like a drag race. But you have incoming traffic, you have swerving turns and tunnels and all this other shit. As you're driving through this highway to race this other racer, your rival, and there's dozens of them to encounter, each with their own driving styles, quirks, and everything. But what's cool is you have a health bar at the top. They're like called spirit points or something, because you got to break the other racer's spirit. That's the thing. There's no finish line. It's literally a car battle game. In fact, in Japan, the original title for Tokyo Extreme Racer is Shutoku Battle, I think it's called. Might have said that right. Anyway, there's a reason it's called that. You're literally just battling this other racer. How it works is that the longer you are ahead of your rival while racing, the more their health bar will go down, just like a fighting game, slowly, gradually depleting. And if they get ahead of you, your health bar will start to deplete. And I swear to God, it looks on the screen like a fighting game. It's really fucking cool. And it's that simple. It's like really, really very like tight focus racing one-on-one. And I don't even think there's any multiplayer in these games. At least I don't remember that being in Zero, and I don't think the new one that's coming out next month is going to have it either. They're sticking very close to that original style because this is like a single player, like intense battle racing experience. It's that kind of game. There's no other racing game like it. So like basically once the health bar depletes, the race is over, you win some money, you break that racer's spirit, and you look for more to earn more currency and keep souping up your car and customizing your car or getting a new one. And you go back out and you do it again, and that's the whole game. It's addictive. Like, it's really, really cool. It's very arcadey, but it also has this atmosphere, like I said, where like even in between finding racers, the feeling of just cruising through these cool nighttime highways in Tokyo, and you got all these lights, and like it just feels really cool. Like there's nothing else like it, bro. The fact that it's getting a revival is crazy because the series was thought to be dead for a long time. It's another one of those franchises where like Genki lost the rights at some point, I think, and people thought it was just gone. I thought it was gone. I think it's been ages since there's been another one, and this one is just called Tokyo Extreme Racer. It was on Steam Early Access for a long, long time. It actually came to PC before it came to anything else. And now it's finally coming to PS5 next month. Crazy enough, it almost feels like fate or some weird shit, like some kind of mocking fate, that this game literally comes out the day before Resident Evil 9 Requiem. So I'm gonna have to frickin' buy this game and RE9 back to back because there's no way I'm going to like pick one over the other. You're killing me, game industry. And mind you, this is a low budget game. Even this revival, this new entry, this comeback game, even though it looks flashier than ever, it is running on Unreal Engine 5. That graphics engine gets a bad rap, by the way. Everything I've seen of this game, even in early access, looks like it runs beautifully, and it's got beautiful reflections, and the cars are super cool, and it looks really cool. Like, I don't know. I love Unreal Engine 5 personally. I think people give that engine way too much shit. But anyway, even on PC, this thing apparently runs like butter, so I can't wait to see what it's like on PS5 when it comes there. But it is a low-budget game, regardless, you know? It's still super low budget. It's only going to be $50 when it comes out, which is cool. And the fact that it's a little cheaper makes me even more excited. But it's really cool, like, there's even story stuff to this game, bro. Like, the racers you learn about, like, you can actually learn about them in between races and stuff. Like, they'll have dialogue, you can interact with them. It's not like full-on character models and cutscenes and shit like that. It's more like visual novel style, where like you'll have a character illustration, you'll have the text, and you can read it. Like, the characters appear as like cool silhouettes, stylized like 2D silhouettes, and I think that's pretty cool. Like, it's got story stuff where you actually interact with other racers to create this sense of like a racing underworld, but you know, it doesn't take over. It's like very minimal. Again, it might shock some of you to hear that this is my most anticipated game of 2026, as incredibly packed of a year as it is. But you know, sometimes bringing back an old genre that I haven't really messed with in a while, that I really vibed with at one time, it's like when survival horror finally made a comeback, you know? Now we're in a new golden age of survival horror, so it's like I have that, but you know what I haven't had in a while? Arcade-style racing games. That's a genre that has been dead for a while, and I'm hoping this starts a renaissance, man. I'm hoping this kicks off a whole new wave. Bring back Ridge Racer. I would love to see Ridge Racer come back next. Give me a new Ridge Racer. There were a lot of those even after 4, which is the most popular one, but like, Namco, bring back Ridge Racer. Bring that shit back, bro. Take a break from Tekken and make some freaking Ridge Racer games, because I'd love that too. Like, you know, maybe it'll be a new era for arcade-style racing games, because I think there's a romance to cool racing, to cool, stylish racing shit, and that's what street racing is, really, when you think about it. It's like racing made cool, you know what I mean? It's like you take the coolness of like the Wild West and you just apply it to racing instead, you know what I mean? Something along those lines. Or Samurai Bushido Code and just put it like in cars instead, you know what I mean? What's your #1 most anticipated game of 2026? Let me know, you know? As always, you get to burning and live for the passion.